foe. Though distant, perched on the very edge of the world, in fact, the islands didn't exist in a vacuum. Murmurings of this great mustering across the channel that arrived long before their sails were sighted on British shores, giving the Britons time enough to amass a great army of their own to meet the invaders head on. However, the enemy they were about to face was unlike any they'd encountered before. This was the Imperial Roman army. Their countrymen had been here before, nearly a century earlier, and other aborted invasion attempts followed. But this invasion, led by the Emperor Claudius, was very real. The Romans were now here to stay. As column after column of well-disciplined professional soldiers landed on the shores of this obscure, remote land, little did either side know that their clash would force this region into the wider world, bringing it definitively out of the Iron Age and into a literate, city-dwelling society, beginning one of the most famous epochs in all of its history. This is the entire history of Roman Britain, an epic story spanning more than 500 years. The reverberations and still visible remnants of which can still be seen today, more than 1,500 years later. Hello and welcome to History Time. As always, I'm your host, Pete Kelly. This video was written and researched by Eric Tenwald. He runs a great Instagram page called Roman Military History. Go check it out here for all things Rome. Shortly, we'll return to the Roman world, but first, a quick word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by a long-time supporter of the channel, and one of my favourite streaming services on the web. Magellan TV. For just a small monthly fee, you can find thousands of documentaries on any subject you can think of. History, geography, science, culture, and much, much more. All streamed directly to your phone, your tablet, and your smart TV. My current recommendation, and one which I think all you Rome fans out there will love, is the fascinating hidden history of Rome. And there's lots of shows on other aspects of ancient Rome and ancient history too. Now I've teamed up with Magellan TV to offer you an exclusive free trial. Head on over to try.magellantv.com/historytime or click on my link.
Previously on Rome, rise and fall of an empire. Inheriting an empire ravaged by barbarians and torn apart by rival emperors, one man rises victorious. His name is Constantine. Fighting under the banner of a new god, he brings unity to a divided Roman Empire. Now, as its armies are defeated and emperors slain by barbarians, Rome is on the brink of disaster. In this chaos, two mighty leaders emerge. One from within the empire, the other from the ranks of its enemy. Their struggle will reveal an empire at war with itself. On the edges of the empire, Roman soldiers march off to defend the frontier villages from attack. A young boy named Stilicho proudly watches his father among them.
Stilicho was the child of a mixed marriage, as it were. He had a Vandal father but a Roman mother, and this meant that he grew up in a sort of context that was half barbarian and half Roman. This was not atypical of people in this period, and above all, of people who were associated with the army.
Stilicho dreams of becoming a soldier like his barbarian father, fighting to protect the great empire.
By this time, a sizable percentage of the officer corps was of what you might call barbarian ancestry. These are men who were recruited, worked their way up the ranks. The next generation, they become the generals.
As ever fiercer tribes invade the empire, Rome's dependence on barbarian mercenaries grows by the day. Under pressure to protect its expansive frontiers, the empire divides in two. The west is defended by Emperor Valentinian in Rome, while Emperor Valens defends the east in Constantinople. But Valens is challenged in 378 AD when a savage enemy attacks the city of Adrianople. They are the Goths, and what they want is Roman land. They intend to destroy the Roman forces with muscle, steel, and fire, knowing the heavily armored Romans will quickly feel the heat as the battlefield burns.
The Goths were far more numerous, and they had a lot to fight for. They'd been badly treated by the Romans, they'd been sold into slavery, they really had nothing to lose.
During the Battle of Adrianople, Emperor Valens' soldiers are no match for the savage and relentless barbarian warriors.
They attack, and everybody is pushed to the right. The Romans always edge to the right anyway, because you want to keep that right shoulder under the shield of the guy next to you. Now this is accelerated. Everybody compacts around the emperor because he's on the far right, the point of honor, and his men won't move. So we have this acceleration, this compactor process. The Goths come out of this circular deployment and surround the Romans and cut them down.
The Emperor Valens himself falls on the battlefield, forced to fight for his life.